We're live. We're really live. Alright, so here's the deal. Today we'll talk about something cool. We're gonna be watching the Kyle and the Vanguard debate. Let's see if it's cool or not. Oof. Oof. Alright. So it's ready. The thing is ready. I just gotta go to it. Give me 1 second. Let's go to Twitch. And check out my channel. Check out my channel. So why is the camera like that? And the camera to me looks good. Why on the Twitch it looks so foggy? Let me check. We need to get it fixed, and let's fix this focus. Okay. We fixed it. Much better camera. Alright, today we're gonna watch the Vanguard and react to them. Them and Kyle Kalinske. I don't know if it's gonna be cool or not, but we need to check it out. Alright, so we're just gonna jump into it. Wow. Kyle Kalinske has blonde hair now? I did not know that. Yikes. That's not cool. That is so not cool. Dude has yellow hair now. That's crazy. That's crazy. I wasn't ready for that. Dude, I actually was not ready for this. That's crazy. Kyle has fucking yellow hair now. Okay. Alright, so here's the debate Kyle did with the Vanguard. I know I'm gonna find a lot of crazy shit in it, so we're gonna go ahead and record. I didn't know Kyle has blonde hair now. That's pretty cool, I guess. I just can't believe how long I haven't watched Kyle to not even know that he changed his hair color. That's crazy. So I don't watch him at all now. So I didn't know anything about him. But yeah, let's go ahead and watch what they talked about. I guess they debated about Russia and Ukraine. So this is something that I should know about. We'll check out this debate and yeah, we'll react to it. Let's go ahead and start.
One thing that we did want to talk about, Kyle, because we were chatting about this a little bit on our stream the other day, we noticed one of your videos got a lot of pushback in the comments. We always monitor how people's audiences and stuff are reacting to their takes. And it did look like you got a bit of pushback for this video about AOC being confronted by anti-war Tulsi fans. So I wanted to just quickly play the clip that we reacted to, not the whole clip, just, a couple minutes out of it.
We'd be here for 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
Exactly. And then I'll tell you where I slightly disagree. I think we mostly agree, honestly, but I just want to explain where I slightly disagree, and we can kind of hash out the beef. So let's play this clip real quick, and I'll break down where I kind of differ from you.
You originally voted, you ran as an outsider, yet you've been voting to start this war in Ukraine.
What?
Yeah, we already know this video. She says that they were rude and that they yelled over a deaf person.
Who invaded who? Who invaded who? Russia invaded Ukraine. The U.S. didn't invade Ukraine. The U.S. didn't invade Russia.
Yikes! What a shit take by Kyle Kalinske. Kyle is gonna act like Russia invaded Ukraine. Like multiple politicians, like Adam Schiff, said that we're helping Ukraine fight Russia so they can fight them over there, and we don't have to fight them over here. It's clear that this is a proxy war. I don't know why Kyle Kalinske is acting like, oh my God, Russia just kind of woke up one day. Putin was like, hell yeah, let's do it. Let's invade Ukraine. Not acting like NATO was expanding fucking right next door to Russia. And yeah, I guess Kyle Kalinske forgot about all of that. I don't know.
Ukraine didn't invade Russia. Russia invaded Ukraine. So in the wake of Russia invading Ukraine, why is it a bad thing to give them defensive weapons? Now, look.
Why is that a
I
bad
told you
thing?
guys this.
I
After
can
the first,
explain why it's a bad thing. Sending all those armaments out without tracking makes it very difficult to see who the fuck is actually getting these weapons. We're sending out billions of dollars worth of weapons, and we're actually altering our own economy here, increasing our own gas prices. Sending these weapons is exasperating a war that's ending up with a reduction in commodities exported from these war-ridden countries, like grain and oils and energy and fucking food. And so, yeah, I can tell you multiple reasons why it's fucking bad to fund Ukraine. There's Nazis there. The weapons are not tracked. You're not sure where the fuck they're going. And they're paramilitaries there. They're right-wing groups there. Why are you sending them weapons? You don't think that's gonna be? It's like, Zelensky released everybody from jail, and then they just started giving them weapons. That's the dumbest idea I've ever heard of in my life to do. But okay, I guess Kalinske has no problem with just sending billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars worth of weaponry to a country you can't even track. And he's totally cool with that.
3 packages?
He sees nothing wrong with it. Am I crazy to see something wrong with this?
I would have started to wrap it up a little bit. At this point, we've had, over a dozen packages sent to Ukraine, and it's been like somewhere between $50 billion and $80 billion worth of weapons sent to Ukraine. Yeah, I agree that's overkill. And yeah, I agree.
Oh, he does agree it's overkill. So he does see that there's something wrong with funding a country in the hundreds of billions of thousands worth of weapons. He does see something wrong with it. He just doesn't agree that we should send them that much weapons. He just wanted to send a little less weapons.
That's probably because, the politicians are enriching the military-industrial complex.
Okay, so he recognizes that the fucking politicians are enriching the military-industrial complex, and he can see that the game the U.S. is doing is to just make extra money. Let's see if he can link this. Is this the KK interview? Kyle Kalinske and Vanguard recent interview. He started off really shitcast. He started off saying that Russia didn't invade Ukraine. Yeah, because Putin just woke up one day. He's like, fuck it, let's just do it. As if NATO wasn't on his doorstep. And he had to fucking fight back. And then now he's saying it's cool. We should be funding the war. We just shouldn't fund it that much. He just has a problem with the $100 billion worth of weapon. But he recognizes that this is to enrich the military industrial complex, but fuck it, it's like, no, US is not invading Ukraine, it's Russia, so we're just giving weapons. We might be giving too many weapons and we don't know who we're giving the weapons to, these right-wing paramilitary groups. And we can't track the weapons, and I agree, I guess there's too many weapons, but the U.S. is a good guy.
That's probably the thing that they care about first and foremost. So I don't deny that it's overkill, but to say that this means you want a nuclear war, what kind of bullshit is that? If the United States sent weapons to Palestinians to defend themselves against Israeli aggression, would this guy say, "Oh, you're a war hawk. You're
Yo, this is literally the opposite of sending weapons to Palestine. This is literally sending weapons to Israel and then saying, oh, Palestine invaded Israel. We gotta give Israelis more weapons. That's literally what you're fucking doing, Kyle. This is so much worse than what oh my god. It's literally the opposite of your analogy is what's happening.
pro-war." My guess is no. My guess is he would understand. Well, those are defensive weapons.
Oh, he would understand. Yeah, because what's happening right now is Palestine is invading Israel, right? Because Russia, which is Palestine, is invading Israel, which is Ukraine. Or I guess to him the Palestinians are the Ukrainians and Israel is Russia. That's such a shit analogy. Such a shit analogy, Kyle Kalinske. Yeah, I'll tell you what. If you send weapons to Palestine, I wouldn't be mad at all. But you're not sending weapons to Palestine. You're sending it to fucking Nazis in Ukraine, dude. And you're not tracking the weapons. There's no tracking whatsoever. And you're sending billions of dollars worth of weaponry that's fucking altering our own economies here at scale. Increasing inflation, creating a deficit, and exasperating a war which is reducing the output of energy commodities, grain from these war-ridden countries. It's fucking destroying the world, and this is nothing like sending weapons to Palestinians to fight Israel at all.
Some Palestinians.
What's happening right now is you're sending weapons to Israel to fight the Palestinians. And actually, it's not like that at all. It's not like that at all. It's like sending U.S. weapons to fight China. That's what it would be. That's a better analogy.
So that's very different by its nature.
No, you're a fucking propagandist, Kyle. And I hate your new hair color.
Because it is defensive.
All right, so there's the clip that we reacted to on the show, and where I, just slightly.
Oh, Ukraine is just defending itself. Ukraine had nothing to do with anything. Ukraine was just chilling, walking around down the street, and all of a sudden it tripped on Russia. Russia just fucking woke up one day, is like, fuck it, let's just invade Ukraine. Not like NATO was literally on the border, almost. Ukraine was about to be accepted into NATO, and Russia had to do something about it, so they don't have fucking nukes on their borders.
Disagree with you. And in principle, I do agree with you. I don't think that in principle there's...
And not like Ukraine was being killed and massacred and murdered by Nazis, by Ukrainians. Just Russian Ukrainians were killed by Ukrainians because they had affinity to Russia. They're acting like none of this happened. Imagine me... Syria is fucking fucked, right? Syria is totally fucked. Imagine me, I come to Syria, I'm like, man, Bashar al-Assad is such a shit president. Look what he did to Syria. Forgetting that the fucking country's in the middle of a war. Forgetting that the U.S. savaged the CIA-backed programs. Just spent millions of weaponry, of dollars worth of weaponry and sent it out to Syria. Forgetting that there's fucking Al-Qaeda in Syria. Forgetting that Turkey's in Syria. I mean, I'm just like, yeah, fuck it. The Syrian president just sucks. Yeah. Shlotsky says Ukraine only promised to stop fucking bombing their own citizens on the Russian border and couldn't even do that. So they
really anything.
Yeah, they wouldn't hold a single promise. The Minsk Agreement 1 and 2, they broke.
Wrong with arming countries who are under attack or arming countries that need help. Or just providing aid in general. I think the problem comes into play with the nuclear war possibility and the fact that Putin.
No, the problem comes into play with the fucking amount of propaganda and lies. You call yourselves political commentators. Y'all are fucking propagandists. Y'all are liars. Kyle Kalinske is a fucking liar. He just equated sending weaponry to Ukraine, Nazis in Ukraine, to sending Palestinians weaponry to defend themselves. That's a fucking absolute propagandist bullshit.
Putin has quite explicitly put that on the table and threatened basically Armageddon, in the words of Joe Biden, our president.
But yeah, it could be exasperated with this nuke war. But I don't think there's going to be a nuclear war. I think that's some bullshit.
So the comparison that I like to make, and I'd be interested to hear your opinion on this, is when we illegally and offensively invaded Iraq, do you think it would have been a good idea for a country like Russia, for example, another nuclear armed superpower, to step in and start sending packages of weapons and aid, lethal aid, to Saddam Hussein to protect Iraq?
Why is the Vanguard acting like they're the beacon of truth here? What the fuck? Is the Vanguard gonna act like they didn't go to and smear Jackson Hinkle by calling him a Putin puppet? Now they're gonna be like, oh, but Russia is a good guy. What? Why is Vanguard even acting here like they like Russia? They fucking hate Russia. They're Russophobes. I've seen it. I've covered them multiple times on my show. They're fucking Russophobes. And they smear people by calling them Putin puppets. Why are you right now? They're acting like the beacon of truth here. This is how so far gone this fucking whitewashed left commentary. This is how gone it is. The fucking enemy of Putin is gonna act like they're the defenders of Putin. That's crazy.
From our invasion, because I don't think that would be a good idea. I think that would be escalating to nuclear armed superpowers into a potentially catastrophic situation. But how do you look at a situation like that or a hypothetical like that?
Yeah, so I agree with you, but
I look at it like Palestine getting invaded by the Jews, by Zionists.
add the caveat that I do think it's debatable. And I was going to bring up a similar example. When we invaded Iraq, Iran decided they were going to arm Shia militias in Iraq to fight the Americans. And so even though, like you just said, I don't agree with that, but I certainly think it's a debatable issue, because I wouldn't say that Iran in that situation wants World War III or wants war with America. I would say Iran wants the U.S. out of Iraq, and that's why they're doing that. By the same token, I think the U.S. wants Russia out of Ukraine. So I actually think it's perfectly analogous in that sense. Is there any part of that you disagree with?
Well, the only thing I would say is that if we started saying we're going to start a nuclear war, going back to that time period, if we started threatening nuclear war, then no, I absolutely don't think in any way, shape, or form it would have been a good idea for Iran or any other country that had nukes. Iran didn't have nukes at the time, did they?
No, they don't even have nukes now. No.
Right, because of the Iran deal, correct, yeah. So if they did, though, I think that any two countries that both have nukes escalating pretty much in any way would be a bad idea. So if we were saying at the time, hey, we're going to start a freaking nuclear war over this, and Iran kept sending more money and escalating the situation further and further, then no, I don't think that would have been a good idea at all, in the same way that I don't think it's a good idea for us to be escalating with Russia, who's explicitly threatening nuclear war. Again, I have all the solidarity with the people of Ukraine that have been displaced and killed by this, unnecessary conflict. But I just worry that us intervening, given our track record, that it is escalating towards a nuclear war or a World War III type situation.
I don't know why the Vanguard is acting worried. They weren't worried when the war started. They were Russophobes up till 5 minutes ago. I don't know why the fuck they're worried. They were totally okay with arming Ukraine. It got to 100 billion. Now you're worried. Putin's scaring us with nukes. Now you're worried. What a fucking loser.
Situation, and also in the same way you brought up, the Israel-Palestine conflict. As much solidarity as I have with the Palestinian people, if Israel was, if we started arming Hamas, for example, I also don't think that would be a good idea.
Yeah, see, that's where...
But these analogies are so shit. To arm for... They're acting like Russia is Iran or some bullshit, man. These fucking analogies don't work. They're such shit analogies. Remember how much everyone freaked out at the fake news of Russia giving bounties for American soldiers? That wasn't even real. Yeah. I remember that. I remember the Russians... there was some reporting saying Russia's government was giving bounties for American soldiers' heads. Yeah.
Again, I agree
total bullshit, a bunch of propaganda, and these guys believe shit like that all the time.
with you, but I think it's a nuanced conversation, because
nuanced. That's why you keep using shit analogies.
in principle, Would I have a problem with the U.S. or anybody for that matter arming non-Hamas,
Yes, you should have a problem.
non-extremist Palestinians for self-defense? I'd say, yeah. I mean, I think that's a debatable issue. I wouldn't be upset if somebody wanted to do that. But to your point, you'd
Really? You're okay with that? You're okay with the US arming anyone as long as they're not terrorists, huh?
want to add stipulations of like,
That's weird. Why are you okay with the US just arming people? Like, what the fuck?
none of this
Why is this a normal thing? Just for the US to start fucking warfare.
can go to Hamas because Hamas targets Israeli civilians, etc. So, I mean,
Why are they talking about Palestine? Talk about the fucking issue here, Russia and Ukraine. What is happening? Why did they move into analogies and now nobody understands what's happening, bro?
I think we largely agree. I just think it's a very
Yeah, we largely agree, but I think we lost the conversation because now we changed it into Palestine and fucking Israel.
nuanced conversation. I do agree that nuclear weapons does change the analysis, and I think you'd have to be like very hard-headed not to concede that point. That yes, nuclear weapons, it raises the stakes and it makes it so you have to be more cautious.
Bro, Kyle Kalinski's eyes know he doesn't give a fuck that there's nuclear weapons. It doesn't raise the stakes to him. To him, he doesn't give a fuck. In his eyes, I see it. He doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care that there's nuclear threat. He
But
still wants to arm more Ukrainians.
then I
Why are they even acting like they're Palestinians?
do want to ask you though, because I still stand by that I would
Arm
I
Palestine?
I would have been fine, and I was fine with the first 2 or 3 packages of weapons going to Ukraine.
Yeah, see, he's cool. He's cool with sending weapons. He's just, I don't want to send too many weapons. That's his problem. His problem is he's sending too many weapons. But he doesn't. He's cool with sending weaponry.
I would have added the caveat that they should be tracked and none of it should get into the hands of the
Oh no! And he's worried about the track. So here now he knows it's not getting tracked, but he's totally cool with sending this fucking weaponry out.
Azov battalion and all that stuff.
Complete
but-
bullshit. Fuck these guys, bro. These guys fucking suck.
By your logic, saying, hey, since they're threatening nuclear war, it's like it's a whole different calculation, which I agree with. But would you then say like we shouldn't have sent anything to them at all?
Yes. Especially when you just said we're not tracking them. We're enriching the military-industrial... He started this conversation understanding that the U.S. is enriching the military-industrial complex by sending these weaponry. Yes, I don't think we should be sending any of these weapons. No, I don't want to say... They're not being tracked. It's obviously to enrich the military-industrial complex. So why the fuck are we even sending these weapons? This is not comparable to fucking Palestine and Israel. Russia is an enemy of ours. We've been in Cold War with them for the past 4 years, ever since Trump sat in office. We've been fucking Russophobing the whole world, red baiting the whole world. Yes, no, I don't agree with sending weaponry. Especially now that, Kyle, you fucking said there's a caveat. They're not getting tracked and there's fucking Nazis in Ukraine. Yes, Kyle, yes, I don't want you to send any weaponry. Are you fucking stupid? Do I have to spell this out for him? He said it himself. It's not being tracked. There's Nazis. The military-industrial complex is enriching itself. Why the fuck do you want to help them with that shit? What the fuck? It's so weird. This guy is so fucking weird, dude.
Because if we didn't
I swear I can't trust Kyle Kalinski at all.
do that, then they would have been steamrolled.
If we didn't do that, they would have been steamrolled. I don't give a fuck, bro. Steamroll their asses, Russia. That's a good thing. We would have fucking denazified the fucking Ukrainian region, you fucking stupid bitch.
I mean, the fact that they're even still hanging in there is a testament to the fact that we have basically allowed them to continue to be a country, effectively.
Or it's a testament that Russia is fucking lenient and is still has hopes for peace talks. That's what it's a testament for, fucking Kyle. It's not a testament that our weapons are amazing, you stupid bitch. It's a testament that Russia is fucking lenient and nice and doesn't really want to take over the whole fucking Ukrainian region. Maybe they just want to get rid of its leadership. Stupid bitch. Or maybe they don't want to fucking have so many casualties. This guy fucking stresses me out, bro. What the fuck? He's so stupid. But the thing is, everyone around him is stupid too.
Effectively. So
And people believe the shit.
Do you agree with me that, you know what, hey, the first 2 or 3 times?
No, I don't agree with you, Kyle. I think you're fucking stupid. I think you enriched the military-industrial complex enough with the first 2 or 3 times. I think sending weaponry package, 2 or 3 packages of weaponry, fucking destabilized the whole region and fucking fucked the commodity market and fucked the exports from Ukraine and Russia. And I think you fucked the whole world. So no, I don't agree with you fucking sending extra weaponry. Not even 2 or 3 packages, you stupid bitch. It's not up to Russia. What the fuck happens between US and Mexico? Exactly. Why the fuck does anyone think that the US has the right to meddle around in people's backyards? Especially when they know that the weapons are not being tracked. They understand the military-industrial complex is trying to enrich itself. And they understand that this conflict started years ago. Still, Kyle, the bitch, changed his fucking hair to try not to be recognized. Still looks and sounds stupid as fuck. I know OG Snow Bunny, he knows exactly what he's doing. He's a propagandist.
You know, you can give 2-3 billion, whatever it is, in weapons, so they have
2-3 billion. You know, it's become to 100 billion, you dumb bitch. This is why this guy's not a serious person. He's talking about 2 or 3 billion. He's okay with 2 or 3 billion dollars. It's $100 billion worth of aid now, you fucking dumb piece of shit. Why is he even acting like he's there to help us, man? This guy doesn't give a fuck about you and me.
a chance to defend themselves? Or would you say,
He's a propagandist, dude.
hey, since Russia has nuclear weapons, like, don't fuck with them at all, so don't give Ukraine any weapons? What would your take on that be?
Gavin a chance.
My take is Kyle Kalinske is a propagandist. He changes subjects whenever he's losing. He uses shit analogies to confuse you so you don't even know what the hell you're talking about. And he's a propagandist, ultimate propagandist. That's why he changed his hair color. This is his true form, finally. I mean, I'm actually disgusted by this. I don't know, man. That's pretty horrible, man. I guess let's continue. I'm going to try to talk a little less.
To answer that, but I do have one more thing that I think kind of does, kind of relate to your question, Kyle. And one of the things that I wanted to ask you about is how much you think, United States encroachment
Somebody said, wow, Eminem on the Vanguard.
and NATO encroachment actually played a role in Russia's hostility.
Yeah, but Kyle doesn't care about NATO. Kyle forgot the Maidan event. Kyle forgot everything about Ukraine from 2014 or from 2012 or anything. He forgot that Lindsey Graham was there in 2012.
Ukraine. So Gavin, go ahead and I don't want to cut you off, but I want to follow up and talk about that as well.
Yeah, we can definitely talk about that. My answer is honestly no. I don't think that the U.S. should have intervened in any way. And again,
see, I don't know why. How is Kyle so shit that Gavin the bitch from the Vanguard, the Russophobe, is the sound of reason here? That's fucking insane to me, guys.
there's really no good answers in this conflict, but
Pink
I have to
vape,
take
bitch.
the stance that given our track record, even just in the last 20 years as a nation, as a warring nation, as an imperialist power, I don't think we have any moral authority or any moral high ground in which to be intervening in these sort of conflicts, especially with a nuclear armed superpower. If the U.S. had like a perfect track record and we ourselves had not engaged in illegal offensive invasions in the last 20 years, then maybe that would be different if we were just like a, completely neutral, good country. But that's just not the case. And again, given the massive hypocrisy of us intervening when we ourselves are guilty of the exact same thing, and probably would have, gone to war with Russia if they had tried to intervene when we did the exact same thing. I just don't think it's our place. So maybe if other countries that didn't have a similar track record as us wanted to get involved and help out, that's totally fine. But the way I see it is that there's a 100 humanitarian crises unfolding around the world right now, most of which we're enabling, most of which we're facilitating. And we just can't step in and
Yeah, instead of using that shit analogy, Kyle, why don't you actually send weapons to Palestine so they can fucking fight the Israelis? Instead of using a shit analogy and sending weapons to Nazis and acting like these are Palestinians, why don't you really give Palestinians weaponry if you care so much about the Palestinians? What a piece of shit. Fucking propaganda.
Be the world police, unfortunately. So I do think that given my anti-interventionist perspective on this matter, no, I don't think we should have really intervened at all.
I mean, I don't think that's a crazy opinion. I think that's a fair opinion.
Fuck you, Kyle. You look crazy. You sound crazy. So, you sound like a dumb bitch.
But I would just say that then, without a doubt, Ukraine today would be Russia. It wouldn't be Ukraine. Ukraine would be gone.
See, this is how you know that this guy's a fucking propagandist. It's unreal. The first demand from Russia, from Putin, was to denazify Ukraine, demilitarize Ukraine, and give away the Donbass and Luhansk regions. That's it. The only thing that would not have been Ukraine was the Donetsk and Luhansk region. Right now, you lost everything else. You lost Crimea. You lost basically the whole southeast of Ukraine, and you're about to lose Kiev now. Russia might not even give up until Kiev is gone. So you fucked yourself, bro. You fucked yourself. It started off, we just have to denazify the region. Now, because America wanted to fight and wanted to kill Ukrainians just to keep Nazis armed, now the whole Ukraine is definitely going to be taken over. But that's not the beginning. Don't act like that was the first goal of this fucking campaign. It was a special military operation, and the goals were very clear. To denazify, demilitarize, and save and protect the Luhansk and Donetsk. Now Ukraine is totally gone. Absolutely, I agree with you. There's no way Ukraine will be back. But that's after months of fucking $100 billion of packages from the US, billions of dollars worth of money and aid and packages from Europe, and after destabilizing the whole fucking region in terms of exporting commodities. Yeah, now it's a big problem. Russia's like, fuck that. I'm not going to give up this fucking region. I'm actually going to take it. Don't even act like it started that way. Yeah, we could start with, we can keep the subtitles on.
Right. And that kind of leads into my question with you, Kyle, because I think that...
Fuck you, Kyle. Kyle is such a fucking piece of shit propagandist, dude.
You know, part
piece of shit.
of my...
Him changing his hair will not keep him away from me. I can see through him.
Obviously, this is a nuanced, question, and it's so easy to come off as like, cold or like.
Want a second income stream? Because if you can download an app from the App Store, then you can now build a
like.
It's okay, Shlotsky. We don't even have to argue from that sense. We're just arguing from the sense of the beginning of the special military operation. Russia wasn't going to take over Kiev, not like it's going to do it right now.
Whatever. I don't want to like come across like I'm not considering the, the turmoil and the will and the of the, people of Ukraine. But to me, it does seem like if we're, trying to take a bird's eye view at this and look at it, as imperialist powers would, as, Putin will look at Russia and its position on the global stage, and, Biden and the generals will look at the United States in its position on the global stage. And you look at what's happened and, you have a NATO agreement that's, post World War II, right? And that was initially with the Soviet Union, but it's been honored by, Russia. But the agreement was that there wouldn't be any encroachment onto Russia's border, right? And the United States and NATO have completely ignored that. And you can see over time in like those progressive maps where they change the color based off of who, has been brought into NATO, that they now have encroached on Russia's border, and it's got closer and closer and closer. And then you also have to think about the fact that, why does the U.S. have any interest in Ukraine, right? Why are we more interested in Ukraine and their sovereignty than we are about the sovereignty of Yemen, right? Why are we not so concerned about what's going on over there that we have to send aid packages to Yemen when instead we're just, letting Biden bend it over and take it from MBS, regardless of how he treats, Biden in regards to oil prices. We're still supporting them. So it's clear to me that it's mostly the oil,
What's
right?
up,
The
bro?
natural resources that
Nice
are
to
in
see you,
Ukraine,
brother.
and I think that's why most of NATO's, invested in this at all, to the fact that they've entertained it at all. I don't think it's so much the fact that we care if Ukraine is reduced to rubble, in the same sense that we don't really care if Yemen is reduced to rubble, or if Syria is reduced to rubble. But in this case, there's, money to be made and there's oil to be had. So I'm just wondering if you think that...
Why does Zach take 2 hours to fucking ask one question? I'm so
again,
pissed.
one of our corrupt ventures that's just, there to be...
Crystal found a new barber.
a washing machine for corrupt money to go back into the hands of
Top left is looking like Krista.
the military-industrial complex to better position the United States and
Y'all are
hinder
fucking
Russia.
fast, so funny.
And to
as
the
hell.
extent that that's been successful, I think we could debate.
I
But
love this team, man. Y'all are funny.
I just think
Yo,
that
Zach's still fucking asking a question. What the fuck?
there's so much more to, potentially that line of thinking. Like if you're thinking like, how does the United States think about this? Then what it boils down to is like,
Dude almost fucking almost lost his breath right there just from all the talk.
we're doing this out of any kind of like, goodness in our hearts, because it would just be so incomparable to how we've treated other invaded
Well-
countries around the world.
I mean,
Bro, Slim Shady is about to drop a couple of bars. Listen.
It-
I don't even know what the question is. That was a fucking long ass question.
if it's going to be a really short
Bro, Gavin's looking like Crystal. Holy shit.
conversation if you want me to concede that the U.S. doesn't, that the
Yeah.
U.S. acts selfishly and like an imperialist power on the world stage, because I think that's
Let's start.
fucking super obvious. That's the most obvious thing in the world to me.
Oh, so Kyle recognizes that the U.S. is acting like a super imperialist power. Okay.
I mean, that's all there is.
Why the fuck does he condone and is okay then with this superpower sending military and weapons and creating, instead of diplomacy, creating fucking dissent and problems in regions and destroying regions?
arms 73% of the world's dictatorships. So this notion that we are, principally involved in democracy and spreading democracy and being the world police, and that's why we do the things we do because our intentions are so good, I think that's obviously not true. I think that when talking about this particular conflict, though, the nuance that a lot of people are missing is that sometimes you could accidentally wind up on a side that is not wrong, And just like I said, if the U.S. happened to arm Palestinians that are not Hamas and it's to defend Palestine, now they'd never do that, but if they did do that, I would say, wow, that's certainly an interesting and debatable thing, because on the one hand, I don't want to be a massive global arms dealer, but on the other hand, if we're going to arm anybody, I'd rather it go to them than the 73% of the world's dictatorships.
Yeah, I don't want to be a massive arms dealer, but I'll just arm the Ukrainian Nazis. It's okay.
So to your question about NATO specifically, NATO encroachment, yes, I used to think that was, if not the only reason for Russian aggression, I thought it was maybe the predominant reason.
He fucking said it. He says, I used to believe that the Russian aggression started because of the U.S. NATO encroachment. He actually understands the whole situation. So these fuckers, they understand everything. Why are they acting stupid? Why is he acting stupid then? He understands the NATO encroachment is the reason why fucking Russia wanted to stop and demilitarize the region. But he's totally cool. He understands there was fucking Nazis in the area. He's totally cool with it. He understands the U.S. is trying to fucking just benefit in itself and make money. But he's totally cool with it. What the fuck is wrong with this guy? He totally understands the truth and is still okay with murder and destruction. Who the fuck is this guy, bro?
That like the majority reason why they're doing what they're doing is because they feel existentially threatened by NATO encroachment. Now,
He said it.
having watched the war unfold, having seen the actions that Putin...
Now, I think Russia just wants to invade Ukraine. Are you really... So you're going to come up to this conclusion from what... You started off really well and now you're going to end up with a shitty conclusion. Watch this, guys.
has taken, and I think more importantly, just listen to his own words in his speech when he announced the invasion. I'm now of the belief that I think...
Is he gonna use... What words is he even talking about? I 100% he's not gonna use the words.
he would have done this anyway, even if NATO...
Oh, he would have done this anyway, even if NATO wasn't encroaching. Holy shit, that's his conclusion. So he understood the whole essay, and he concluded that even though NATO was encroaching... So he believed that the only reason Russian aggression started is because NATO was encroaching. But now he believes, because of a speech that he heard from Putin, that even if NATO wasn't encroaching, that Russia was still going to do aggression against Ukraine. Did that speech say that Russia is committed to protecting the Donetsk and Luhansk people? Is that what the speech said?
Never expanded, but I don't think NATO should have expanded in the first place because I don't want to.
So this guy does a lot of buts, but he talks a lot, but says a lot of nothing. Kyle talks a lot, but says a lot of nothing. So he basically went full circle back to his shitty original thinking. That's crazy.
Give him an excuse. I don't want to give him something he could point to say, well, actually, that's the reason. Because really, it's propaganda. In the same way that when the U.S. invaded Iraq, we had this whole list of reasons and grievances. It's like, oh, he has weapons of mass destruction. Oh, he's really bad against the Kurds. He's a brutal dictator. Like, they kept changing the reason and moving the goalposts, and they had their narrative and their propaganda, and all of it effectively was bullshit. Because I think fundamentally what it was for was oil. This is what an imperialist power does. It cares about natural resources. It cares about propping up puppet regimes that are kind to our corporate interests. But by the same token, and this is a part that I think a lot of people on the left miss, I think that's also why Vladimir Putin is doing what he's doing in Ukraine. I think he wants the oil and gas. And in fact, in 2014, when Putin took Crimea, it was only 2 years earlier, in 2012, that they found massive natural gas deposits right off the water in Crimea.
Yeah.
And so
I
I find it
with you at all that that's 100% why he wants Ukraine.
Yeah, that's a huge reason. The other thing is he sincerely believes it's a fake.
Man, what a load of bullshit. So this is the thing. These guys, they act from the mindset of a US. So they understand the US mindset, which is take over any resources you can. And then they just kind of paint a brush with a brush. They just start painting that same mindset on every other country. Acting like every other country, all it wants to do is to take resources from another country. That's why they do anything they do. A load of bullshit. This is what the US wants to do, and that's why they can think like that. No other country thinks like the US, though. This is absolute retarded thinking. Like, this is so stupid. You cannot think like that. The US is the only country that thinks like that. No other country just thinks, oh, resources, let's go in. That's crazy. That's stupid. Yeah, they think power. They think, this other country is trying to destabilize our area, our region. Let's get rid of them. But they don't just go in for resources. They're not fucking imperialists. No other country is as imperialist as the US. No other. Maybe France. But that's it.
State.
So you see how they paint a brush with that same thinking?
He thinks it was a big mistake when the Soviet Union was broken up and the territory was given away. And Putin he's not a lefty. He's not, he doesn't believe in the Soviet Union. He's not like a Stalinist or anything, but he believes in the former glory of the Russian Empire. Again, this is me taking his own words from him in his speech when he announced the invasion. And so I think he wants to recreate some semblance of the Russian Empire and gain territory. So between that...
He just thinks. This is what I mean. They come from an imperialist background, and they start just shoving ideas in your face, and they think, but they're not, nothing that you're saying is true. Nothing. You have no evidence for it.
And wanting the oil and gas, I think that's effectively why he did what he did.
I don't know. I saw a YouTube video that said that Putin was based and he owned the libs.
See, this is what I'm talking about. These fuckers are Russophobes, man. I don't know why they're even acting like they're against Kyle. I don't know. I don't even know why the fuck they're acting like they're against Kyle. They're 100% with Kyle on this issue. Guys, I don't know. I'm gonna end the stream here now. I need to cook. I didn't cook anything. I didn't eat anything. We'll finish this later, guys. I'll upload a couple of videos. I need to finish this later. I just can't watch it right now. I need to go eat. Sorry, guys. I don't know what's happening, man. I got work in 30 minutes and I woke up a little late, so F it. I'm just gonna go ahead and end the stream, guys. Thank you for being here, Shlotsky and Cass and everybody, but I need to end the stream. I need to cook something. I'll see you guys in a bit, alright? I'll see you guys tomorrow. BRB. It was good. Yeah, I know. I can't believe this. We're gonna have to finish this. I'm not gonna stop this. I'm gonna finish the whole thing later tomorrow, but yeah. Good catch. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll see you guys tomorrow, man. Get ready this weekend. We're gonna do public interviews again. So get ready, guys.